I never get tired of this view. Yeah, it's a great place to live, and I'm grateful for the visit, Hermes. Thank you for this gift. Though, if I'm being honest, I am a bit nervous and excited. I just don't know what to expect. Don't mention it. As I said, the mescaline will take effect in 14 minutes after eating the cactus. Whatever you do, don't try to fight the experience. Go with it. It will lead you right to your true self. And whatever shadows you meet, don't run from them. Embrace them. Okay, I hope this works. Don't worry, it will. Thanks, Hermes. It's only a psychedelic trip, right? What could go wrong? Remember what I said and you'll do just fine. Thanks. See ya. Embrace the shadows. Got it.
Yes, indeed. The shadow resides within you, brave traveller. Seek your inner archetypes. You must make peace with them. Seek the 3 behelit stones, 1 black, 1 silver, and the last crimson. Let them guide you to the arch tree of life. You will find yourself there. Enter the labyrinth. The rest is up to you.
stone speaks, now being personified of himself, and says this: I am an orphan, alone, yet I am found everywhere. I am one, but I am contrary to myself, a youth and an old man at the same time. I have known neither mother nor father, because I must be lifted up from the depths like a fish, or else I fall down the sky like the white stone. In woods and on mountains I am walking about, yet I lie hidden in the innermost of man. I am mortal for everyone, and yet I am not touched by the mutation of time. Part of spiritual development is to recognize the satanic tendencies that characterize you, and to fully wrestle with them, and to integrate them. This is the thing. It's not so much to cast them away, it's to transmute them. And you can see the difference between people who have done that and people who haven't, at least to some degree. Because people who haven't integrated their shadow are naive. Someone who has integrated the shadow, they're dangerous in the martial arts sort of way. They are dangerous, but they don't have to be. Their presence radiates the potential for havoc.
Right. Who are you?
I am the warrior.
The warrior, huh? Well, what do you want?
To win.
Why is it so important to win?
All I want is simple, to have my own way.
And why is having your own way so important to you?
Because my way is the best, and others are weak.
Why do you assume that everyone is weaker than you?
Look at them. That's all you need to do.
But I don't think that everyone is weak.
Oh, they are. They have no discipline, no willpower. They listen to their every impulse, these weaklings.
Why is it bad to listen to my impulses?
Because it gets you nowhere. You will stay a nobody for the rest of your pathetic life. No status, no power. No threat to anybody, just a weak coward.
Wait, do you think that I'm a coward?
Yes.
Okay, that's a bit harsh, but tell me what I can do to bring more of your energy into my life.
Stop being pathetic. You have to figure that out for yourself.
But I really don't know, and I do want to change, so what should I do?
Do. Just start doing instead of your pathetic thinking. Now leave me be. I have more important things to do.
Hello there. Who are you?
I am the orphan, alone in the world.
And what do you want most out of life?
To belong, to fit in.
Why is that important to you?
Isn't that obvious? I don't want to be left out. I wouldn't know what to do. I need other people. I am alone in the world.
But you're not alone. There are people that care about you.
Do I? Yeah, sure. Who would want to be friends with me? I don't know anything. People forgot about me. They use me and throw me away. I am nothing.
No, you aren't. Look, you are inside the labyrinth. That means you're on the hero's journey. That's important. Focus on that.
Stop! You don't know anything about me.
Of course I do. You're part of me after all. And if we want to get through this thing together, we're gonna have to work together.
But I don't know if I can do it. Look how deep the labyrinth is. Wouldn't it be better if we just didn't try this? I would rather stay where I am.
We can't be afraid to take a step towards that makes us uncomfortable. Come on, I'll show you how to do it.
Alright then. I will try. No one ever supports me like this. So, this is quite a surprise. Thank you.
Hello there. And who are you supposed to be?
I'm your inner child.
I see. And what is it that you're looking for?
Nothing. I just want to play.
You just want to play? Why?
It's fun. I could do it all day.
Don't get me wrong, playing is fun, but don't you feel a little bad when you haven't been productive all day?
No, quite the opposite. I just love running around and playing.
What do you mean running around? You mean inside the labyrinth?
Yes, sometimes I get lost, and that's no fun. I get scared, so I often stay in the garden.
It sounds scary to get lost. What do you do when that happens?
I call out, and the caregiver comes to rescue me. I don't know what I would do if she abandoned me. Just thinking about that makes me want to cry.
Well, don't cry. Is there something I can do to make you happier?
Sure. Don't ever grow up. When you grow up, your heart dies, and you won't be fun to play with anymore.
Hello there. Who are you?
I am the caregiver.
What is it that you desire?
To take care of others. It fulfills me.
Why?
I don't want to be selfish, and I enjoy helping others.
Even though they may not want it.
All the better. I can guilt trip them and control them that way.
Why would you want to do that?
So they can never leave me.
What do you mean?
If I do everything for them, then they will be forever dependent on me. Like the child over there. It will never grow up and will have to stay here with me.
I thought that you were compassionate because you were helping others, but this just sounds very selfish and evil.
What are you talking about? I am as compassionate as I can be. I give him nothing but love. Everything he needs, I provide.
But he'll never be able to grow up or become independent because he'll always be dependent on you.
I know, but I just love him so much. I can't let him ever leave me.
But you must, otherwise his anima will stay locked in here with you, and he will never find a proper woman for himself.
I didn't realize that I was slowing his growth that much. I thought if I took care of him all the time, he'd never leave. But I guess it's exactly what will make him hate me if I'll keep overdoing it. I see your point, brave traveler.
Jung's student, Eric Neumann, used the analogy of physical organs to help illuminate the concept of the archetypes. Just as a body is structured by organs, which are largely formed prior to birth, so the mind possesses psychic organs which structure it, the archetypes. Just as the physical organs operate without one's conscious awareness, so do the archetypes. Jung divided the psyche into three major realms: consciousness, the personal unconscious, and the collective unconscious. These three realms are not closed off from one another, but constantly interact in a compensatory manner. The conscious realm is one's field of awareness, consisting of those psychic contents that one has knowledge of. The conscious realm, while extremely important in its own right, is, according to Jung, dwarfed in scope by the unconscious realm. The unconscious consists of those psychic contents which one is unaware of, and Jung divided this into two main parts: the personal unconscious on one hand, and the collective unconscious on the other hand. spiritual development is to recognize the satanic tendencies that characterize you, and to fully wrestle with them and to integrate them. This is the thing. It's not so much to cast them away, it's to transmute them. And you can see the difference between people who have done that and people who haven't, at least to some degree. Because people who haven't integrated their shadow are naive. Someone who has integrated the shadow, they're dangerous in the martial arts sort of way. They are dangerous, but they don't have to be. Their presence radiates the potential for havoc. The notion for the alchemists that Jung brought forward very strongly was the idea of the projection of the psychic contents, projection of the active imagination onto processes and objects in the exterior world. In the case of the alchemists, it was the swirling chemical processes in their alembics, in their alchemical vessels, that they projected the great round of the archetypes onto these chemical processes. They saw crystallization, sublimation, separation as statements about the contents of the psyche, as much statements about the exterior world. Because for them, the firm division between mind and matter that is built into Western thinking now did not exist then. some of Jung's work was spun off into the New Age. And the New Age is a very optimistic and naive movement. The New Age is predicated on the idea that you can do nothing but follow your bliss, and that will take you ever higher to the enlightenment. This is not the Jungian idea at all. On the contrary, the Jungian idea is that what you most need will be found where you least want to look.
Who are you?
I'm a traveler from a faraway land. Some call me Seeker.
You're a seeker. What are you seeking?
I'm seeking a better future for myself. I can't stand a life where I would have to work in a meaningless job. I'm looking for my true self, really.
But your job is not meaningless, is it?
Of course it is. Or should I say was? I made us quit the horrible job. We'll find a better one anyway. Our inner creator is thanking me. Wait until you meet him. He's quite a guy. He was dying every day in the job. Our soul was dying. I saved us.
You may be right about that. But what are we gonna do now?
That's easy. Work on our independence. We don't need people in our lives. Only a few close ones that are important. We are content with being alone, remember?
That may be true, but we can't stay alone our whole life. Never settling down, never committing to anything fully. I mean, we could find a girl.
Another girl? How am I supposed to lead us to wholeness if there's gonna be a beautiful girl around? We wouldn't be able to get out of the bed. Anima would possess us immediately, like she always does. No, thanks. I will rather travel alone.
That's a fair point, Seeker. I'll leave you to it then. Come to think of it, I don't want to settle down either. Who are you?
I am the lover. Who else?
All right, lover. What do you want from life?
I want nothing but to follow my bliss.
What are you searching for right now?
What I am looking for is the one and only true love. I have tried so many partners so far, but it never led anywhere. It never felt real and genuinely fulfilling. And I sense that, you know.
And what do you fear?
Well, the most I fear, I guess, is being alone. Never finding love is my biggest nightmare.
Really? Would it be that bad, being alone?
Yes. I would feel like dying. There is no use for a life like that. Life without love is no better than being dead.
I see. Well, tell me what I can do to have you more in my life.
Just notice the bliss around you. Go watch a sunset and feel the colors. Sometimes it's just too much for me and I can't handle it all by myself. In times like this, I have to tell the Creator to draw it for me. Otherwise my heart would explode. So, feel the atmosphere around you, brave traveler. Whenever you feel like dancing, dance. Dance like no one is watching, really. Don't hold yourself back when you feel like expressing yourself. And don't be afraid to let yourself devour in a moment. Because sometimes, it's all you need.
That's not always easy for me. Sometimes I'm just in my head too much.
You better watch out then. Notice your feelings more and learn to control them. Otherwise, Anima will possess you.
What do you mean by Anima?
She is waiting for you. You can't reach your true self without going through her. So, be aware. I mean very aware, brave traveler. She wants you all for herself.
You say I can't reach my true self without going through this Anima. What will she do to me when I meet her?
She'll grip you and never let go. And it will happen in a blink of an eye. You won't even notice, and you're there. Unable to control yourself, exhausting yourself just for her and her needs. You will make anything for her. And she will convince you that you're doing the right thing. Which is absolutely the worst part, because you will be getting nothing from it. Nothing.
So how do I make peace with Anima then?
As I said, control your feelings and learn to understand them. It happened to me many times that I just surrendered to them and lost myself in a whirl of impulsive pleasure. And there is no love there, brave traveler. There is just filling your inner void with something that will be gone before you even enjoy it. Trust me. I would exchange 100 of my one-night stands for just the one that would stay forever. But you will not find that easily. And you cannot force anyone to love you. Anyway, be prepared for Anima. Just don't fall for tricks. You will need your shadow for that, but first, you must tame it.
To point out that to the degree that you condemn others, find evil in others, you are to that degree unconscious of the same thing in yourself. There can be Eichmanns, Hitlers, and Himmlers just because there are people who are unconscious of their own dark sides, and they project that darkness outward into Jews or communists or whoever the enemy may be, and say that there is the darkness, it is not in me, and because it is not in me, I am justified in annihilating this enemy, whether it be with atom bombs or gas chambers.
Who are you?
Oh, who is it now? Stop distracting me!
I'm sorry, I just want to know what you're doing here.
What are you doing here? I said don't distract me. I am working. I have work to do. Damn people coming in here. Begone with you. You'll spoil my focus.
Alright, but could you talk to me for at least a minute?
Jesus, okay, what do you want? And make it quick.
Why don't you tell me a bit about what you're working on?
Many projects. Can't describe them all. But I am trying to catalyze my identity through my art. I have a constant stream of ideas through my head and not enough time to manifest them all. But I can't help myself. I have to channel my art.
That sounds great. How long do you think this project will take you?
Ah, that's hard to tell. But I bet a more interesting idea will come in a month, and I will have to drop everything and leave this unfinished.
But isn't that just gonna make a bigger mess for you here?
What mess? You call this mess? Do you have OCD or something? You overly orderly people. Pah! I don't care about any mess. I have work to do. Have you met the king? Order in his domain. But whatever you do, don't let him in here. Old bastard wants to eradicate my creativity. He says it brings too much chaos into his kingdom. He hates me. He wants to destroy my art. That would kill me.
Okay, calm down. I haven't seen him anywhere yet.
Oh, thank Jung for that. Now, if you excuse me, I have to get into it again. You have seriously interrupted my flow.
Are you the one they call the Rebel?
The Rebel. What a name.
And what are you after?
And why, oh why, should I tell you?
Because I cannot continue without knowing you.
You were imperfect. Most of you is completely useless. And I want to get rid of that.
Well, you haven't been doing a very good job then. I want to change, but not by destroying myself with drugs.
But alcohol, drugs, and saying fuck you to your boss are pretty life-changing.
You may be right, but that's not going to do us any good if we can't make money and live the way we want.
Look at me. Do I look like I give a shit? You ignore me most of the time, so why should I help you? You deserve what you got.
It's true. I have been ignoring you, and for a long time, so just tell me what to do to fix it. What would you like me to do?
Oh, I don't know. Something simple. You know, real easy like, I don't know, quit your job.
I can't do that. I'm not quitting my job.
Ooh, well, unfortunately, there's nothing to talk about then. Please, close the door on your way out.
Please, I will do anything except quitting the job.
Alright, alright. I want a vacation, at least 2 weeks. Somewhere nice. And also, I want a new girl. This one is becoming boring, if you know what I mean.
Alright, you've got yourself a deal, but if I do this, you have got to stop making me come to work drunk.
Whoa, 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 hold on there, buddy. No one said anything about that. Alright. Deal.
The archetypes most clearly characterized from the empirical point of view are those which have the most frequent and the most disturbing influence on the ego. These are the shadow, the anima, and the animus. The most accessible of these, and the easiest to experience, is the shadow, for its nature can in large measure be inferred from the contents of the personal unconscious. To become conscious of it involves recognizing the dark aspect of the personality as present and real. This act is the essential condition for any kind of self-knowledge, and it therefore, as a rule, meets with considerable resistance. Indeed, self-knowledge as a psychotherapeutic measure frequently requires much painstaking work extending over a long period. Both anima and animus archetypes, as practical experience shows, possess a fatality that can on occasion produce tragic results. They are quite literally the father and mother of all the disastrous entanglements of fate and have long been recognized as such by the whole world. Together, they form a divine pair, one of whom, in accordance with his logos nature, is characterized by pneuma and nous, rather like Hermes with his ever-shifting hues, while the other, in accordance with her eros nature, wears the features of Aphrodite, Helen, Persephone, and Hecate. Both of them are unconscious powers, gods, in fact, as the ancient world quite rightly conceived them to be. To call them by this name is to give them that central position in the scale of psychological values, which has always been theirs, whether consciously acknowledged or not. For their power grows in proportion to the degree that they remain unconscious. Those who do not see them are in their hands, just as typhus epidemic flourishes best when its source is undiscovered. Even in Christianity, the divine syzygy has not become obsolete, but occupies the highest place as Christ and his bride, the Church. The only person who escapes the grim law of enantiodromia is the man who knows how to separate himself from the unconscious. Not by repressing it, for then it simply attacks him from the rear, but by putting it clearly before him as that which he is not. There are actually people who have the whole meaning of their life, their true significance, in the unconscious, while the conscious mind is nothing but inveiglement and error. The integration of the shadow, or the realization of the personal unconscious, marks the first stage in the analytic process, and that without it, a recognition of anima and animus is impossible. The shadow can be realized only through a relation to a partner, and anima and animus only through a relation to a partner of the opposite sex. Because only in such a relation do the projections become operative. The recognition of the anima gives rise, in a man, to a triad, 1/3 of which is transcendent: the masculine subject, the opposing feminine subject, and the transcendent anima. With a woman, the situation is reversed. The missing fourth element that would make this triad a quaternity is, in man, the archetype of the wise old man, and in a woman is the chthonic mother. These four constitute a half-immanent and half-transcendent quaternity, an archetype which I have called the marriage quaternion.
Your Highness, can I approach thee?
I should hope so, traveler. Come then. What is it you seek here?
I wanted to talk to you, Your Highness. Find out about who you are. You're very interesting to me because I just feel like you've been missing from my life.
Oh, brave traveler. You haven't been keeping your life in order at all? And you come here asking me what it is you did wrong? Everything so far. You haven't had any control over your life.
I know. What can I do to take the control back?
Back? Traveler, you always had control. Assume responsibility. Stop blaming others. Your life is purely your responsibility. When you are defeated, it is because you are not strong enough. When you are betrayed, it is because you have misjudged a traitor. You are not your ambitions. You are not your good intentions. You are your actions. Everything that you do matters. One man may never lift mountains alone, but what pitiful a man he would be to blame the mountain and not himself. Accept the control that is available to you, and when you fail, learn. And who knows? Maybe enough men with enough control over themselves, a mountain itself might shiver at the thought. I know an evil man would.
All right. So how do I implement these ideas?
I see. And you were hoping for some grand wisdom, then? A revelation only a faraway king could give you? There is no great secret to control, traveler. To have control is to accept control. Accept responsibility for yourself and your surroundings. Every space you inhabit, make it clean, beautiful, and good. It is small, but the world is made up of small things. Start there and you will find the most challenging parts of your life become all the more manageable.
So you're saying I should establish order wherever I go?
And what else did you plan on doing exactly? Yes, establish order. But be wise. You must accept control, not demand it, or you would become like my brother, the tyrant. No man should want to become a tyrant. Obsessed with control for its own sake, and not for what control brings. Wicked, murderous, and utterly unable to take a joke. That is also not good.
I see what you're saying. So, how do I avoid becoming just like him?
Control is good when it gives order. Tyranny is evil because it betrays true order so that tyrants may quell their fears with the illusion of greater order than they truly have. Tyrants live in fear. They fear that they will lose control, and they behave as if it is constantly slipping from their grasp. And it is. If you wish to defeat the fear of losing control, establish things you can rely on so that order is always within your power. Understand yourself. Track your habits. Keep a journal, perhaps. The more order in life you have, the more confidence you will have, and the less fear will possess you and stray you toward the false order of tyranny.
Thank you, Your Highness. You've been very helpful.
Carry on, brave traveler. I wish you luck on your journey.
anima and animus archetypes, as practical experience shows, possess a fatality that can on occasion produce tragic results. They are quite literally the father and mother of all disastrous entanglements of fate and have long been recognized as such by the whole world. Together, they form a divine pair, one of whom, in accordance with his logos nature, is characterized by pneuma, nous, rather like Hermes with his ever-shifting hues, while the other, in accordance with her eros nature, wears the features of Aphrodite, Helen, Persephone, and Hecate. Both of them are unconscious powers, gods, in fact, as the ancient world quite rightly conceived them to be. To call them by this name is to give the integration of the shadow, or the realization of the personal unconscious, marks the first stage in the analytic process. And that without it, the archetypes most clearly characterized from the empirical point of view are those which have the most frequent and the most disturbing influence on the ego. These are the shadow, the anima, and the animus. The most accessible of these, and the easiest to experience, is the shadow, for its nature can in large measure be inferred from the contents of the personal unconscious. To become conscious of it involves recognizing the dark aspect of the personality as present and real. This act is the essential condition for any kind of self-knowledge, and it therefore, as a rule, meets with considerable resistance. Indeed, self-knowledge as a psychotherapeutic measure frequently requires much painstaking work extending over a long period.
I am all. Come to me, traveler. Stay here. You don't need to try anymore. I like you the way you are.
You must be the old magician. How are you?
Oh, I am well, brave traveler. But what are you doing here?
People tell me that you understand the secrets of the black art. I am interested in that. Will you show me?
What should I tell you about? There is simply nothing to tell.
Don't be ill-natured, old man. I want to learn.
What could I teach you? You are almost at the end of your journey.
I want to know how to transform my own reality, just like you do.
You do that with the very words you speak. Your words are either creative or destructive. If you speak truth and sow harmony, your reality will always shift in ways that are creative and good, even if that means destroying that which is not in accordance with truth. If you spread lies and sow discord, then your reality will always be an inescapable destructive cycle that you create.
But I am not lying in my life that much, am I?
Oh, but you are. You are lying to yourself every day and undermining your progress that way. You think of yourself too highly, and that will always have an opposite reaction in the realms of your unconscious mind.
And how can I stop that?
Come to terms with reality first. You can't begin to change if you don't understand and accept your situation. You can only change reality by changing yourself. There is no other way. You are the reality. You are the aperture through which the universe is observing and exploring itself. Change yourself, and you change the world. But you must base your life on truth.
How do I do that exactly?
Solitude, my boy. Be alone for a long time, so your unconscious mind starts to speak, and then do what it says.
I think I understand, and it's actually pretty simple.
Yes, indeed. That's the magic of it. It's simple to understand, but rather difficult to implement.
You are.
The archetypes most clearly characterized from the empirical point of view are those which have the most frequent and the most disturbing influence on the ego. These are the shadow, the anima, and the animus. The most accessible of these, and the easiest to experience, is the shadow, for its nature can in large measure be inferred from the contents of the personal unconscious. To become conscious of it involves recognizing the dark aspect of the personality as present and real. This act is the only person who escapes the grim law of enantiodromia, is the man who knows how to separate himself from the unconscious. Not by repressing it, for then it simply attacks him from the rear, but by putting it clearly before him as that which he is not. There are actually people who have the whole meaning of their life, their true significance, in the unconscious, while the conscious mind is nothing but inveiglement and error. The integration of the shadow, or the realization of the personal unconscious, marks the first stage in the analytic process, and that without it, a recognition of anima and animus is impossible. The shadow can be realized only through a relation to a partner, and anima and animus only through a relation to a partner of the opposite sex. Because only in such a relation do the projections become operative. The recognition of the anima gives rise, in a man, to a triad, 1/3 of which is transcendent: masculine subject, the opposing feminine subject, and the transcendent anima. With a woman, the situation is reversed. The missing fourth element that would make this triad a quaternity is, in man, the archetype of the wise old man, and in a woman is the chthonic mother. These four constitute a half-immanent and half-transcendent quaternity, an archetype which I have called the marriage quaternium.
Who are you?
Does it matter? My name is not important.
Well, how can I use what you tell me if I don't know who you are?
That's a tough one, isn't it? You won't have a chance to apply your prejudice onto me.
Oh, I understand. But what do you want then?
Me? Absolutely nothing. Or everything. It doesn't matter, anyway. I just want to feel alive.
Do you feel alive? Because this part of the labyrinth doesn't feel that way at all.
Oh, believe me, I am thrilled. Thrilled that you got this far, despite all my traps. It was funny to watch you struggle.
So that was you?
Go on. Let me see what you will do next. I hope you fail. Yes, that would be fun.
What can I do to honor you more in my life? You know, so you stop playing tricks on me?
Just live in the moment. I hate all that planning you do. Just jump into it. Be spontaneous. Trust in the process and improvise. And let me drink some alcohol, damn it, or I will make you do it. Ha 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 ha.
with me. You don't need to try. You can't escape.
Both anima and animus archetypes, as practical experience shows, possess a fatality that can on occasion produce tragic results. They are quite literally the father and mother of all the disastrous entanglements of fate and have long been recognized as such by the whole world. Together, they form a divine pair, one of whom, in accordance with his logos nature, is characterized by pneuma, nous, rather like Hermes with his ever-shifting hues, while the other, in accordance with her eros nature, wears the features of Aphrodite, Helen, Persephone, and Hecate. Both of them are unconscious powers, gods, in fact, as the ancient world quite rightly conceived them to be. To call them by this name is to give them that central position in the scale of psychological values which has always been theirs, whether consciously acknowledged or not. For their power grows in proportion to the degree that they remain unconscious. Those who do not see them are in their hands, just as typhus epidemic flourishes best when its source is undiscovered. Even in Christianity, the divine syzygy has not become obsolete, but occupies the highest place as Christ and his bride, the Church.
is this place? You are now at the roots of the Tree of Life.
What is your name?
I am the holder of the key, the guardian of the way. My name is Xanthus Sinix.
You're the holder of the key. The key to what?
The key to your true self, of course.
I would very much like to get there. What am I missing?
You should know that by now, my boy.
What do you mean?
On your journey, you must have obtained deeper knowledge about yourself.
Well, that I did, and I think I am ready.
You think you are ready? That is why you learned nothing. I am afraid I cannot let you pass.
But please, I've wanted this for so long.
And that is the nature of it, brave traveler. Your very attachment to the outcome of your journey is what is keeping you from actually attaining it.
Then, how do I do it?
You must let go to truly possess what is real. Stop trying. Only when you are passive and in complete unity with your truth will you, without effort, unlock the way. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Join us.